there, I'm Contessa Brewer. The gunman behind Thursday's rampage at Umpqua Community College has now been identified as 26-year-old Chris Harper Mercer. Authorities say he entered a classroom on the campus 180 miles south of Portland and opened fire. 10 people were killed, 7 wounded. Authorities say they received calls from the college at about 10:38 local time reporting an active shooter. Officers responded. They found the gunman, exchanged fire. Harper Mercer died in a classroom or near a classroom, and law enforcement sources tell CBS News 4 guns were found at the scene, pistols and a rifle. Chris Woodard from Portland affiliate Coin TV is in Roseburg at this hour. And Chris, what can you tell us about where the investigation stands?
Well, the first thing I can tell you is that the sheriff here just updated numbers. There were a lot of numbers floating around all day. He said the accurate information is that we now have 10 dead and 7 injured. Of those 7 injured, 3 of them are in critical and have been taken out of Roseburg to a hospital in Eugene for their care. And of those 10 dead, 1 of those is the shooter. Now, we're standing a few hundred yards from the driveway that enters this college. That area is blocked off and has been blocked off all afternoon. Coincidentally, we're actually at a state police office, which is just down the road. There's also a fire district garage here. That has become ground zero for all the first responders. They say they're still combing that campus. Law enforcement from all over the state and federal officials as well coming to this area to help with that investigation. But as is often the case in these situations, the sheriff being very tight-lipped as far as details of that investigation, motivations of the shooter. There are a lot of leads and a lot of tips out there that you, as well as our organization, looking to confirm right now, but the sheriff's office not confirming much at this point tonight.
Meanwhile, they had families reuniting at the Douglas County Fairgrounds because so many people were prevented from getting into their cars and leaving the campus. They actually bust them out. Tell me a little bit about those reunions and at this point, whether everyone has been able to reunite with their family and friends.
The last we heard from the sheriff's office, there were still some people looking to reunite, either students that didn't have family members at the fairgrounds or the other way around. But yes, this has been going on most of the afternoon. The local school district here volunteered their buses to get students evacuated from the campus and over to the fairgrounds. And the stories are emotional, as you can imagine. People worried and waiting until their loved ones arrived there and they were able to hear from them. We talked to one mother who was waiting for her son here because she hadn't heard about the fairgrounds here at the sheriff or the state police office. He eventually made his way over here and embraced with her. And he had quite a tale as well about being inside today. He said so many students that were there thought this was a drill because they didn't hear the shots. He said he was in the building over from where he's told this took place, but he never heard any shots. His math teacher came running in and told everyone to take cover. And he says it was probably 45 minutes before the SWAT officers came in, cleared that room, and were able to check their bags and then get them out of the area. So a lot of disbelief from students. This is a very rural campus. The reason we can't see campuses right now is because it's surrounded by trees and hills down that driveway I referenced before. A very rural area, not a big population center, and something that these students felt might mean that this kind of thing wouldn't happen here, of course, as we've seen far too many times. That's not the case.
You know, it's interesting, Chris, I was talking to a professor from Umpqua Community College who told me that she got an alert on her computer from the college itself saying that there was an active shooter, and it's what spurred her to action. But then I spoke with a student who said there was no alert. Do you have any clarification about whether there is a campus-wide alert that goes out in an emergency like this?
We don't have clarification on that right now, and we're hearing the same thing you are. Personally, I talked to a few students today who said hearing from other students or hearing from others running around on campus was the way that they found out today, and they said they didn't receive any alerts.
All right, what's the latest from Mercy Hospital right there, Mercy Medical Center, I should say, right there in Roseburg, where some of the injuries, some of the injured people were taken immediately following the shooting?
Right, we understand there's 4 patients at the hospital here in Roseburg, 3 patients who were critical, taken about an hour away to a hospital in Eugene. We do have another reporter staked out in that area tonight, but no breaking news, no breaking developments as far as we know. We haven't been told of any developments on those folks, and as far as we know, all of them at this point still being treated with hopes that they'll make it out okay.
Governor Kate Brown said that she was coming to the area. Do you know what kind of state resources will be required now for the investigation, for medical examiner to be able to deal with the victims of the shooting who died?
We asked the sheriff's office about that, and he didn't even clarify or give specifics. He said, I can tell you there are hundreds of agencies that we've either reached out to or that are already here. He mentioned state, he mentioned federal, and you did talk about the governor, Kate Brown, who's on her way down. There's a vigil planned for tonight at 8 o'clock. We've been told the governor will be at that vigil. A lot of students online, as well as telling us that they plan to be there because they really feel like they need to gather and be with each other at this point in time, and they are expecting to see the governor there tonight.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for the reporting that you're doing there from Roseburg. And again, we have found out that the shooter has been identified as Chris Harper Mercer, 26 years old. That's from 2 different law enforcement sources. So we'll look forward to seeing some new information coming out, updates on the kinds of injuries that those who survived the shooting have, as well as what investigators are finding when they're looking into the social media, the email accounts of the man that they've identified as the shooter, what possibly could have motivated him. We're hearing multiple stories now about him asking students to name their religion, to stand up and name their religion, but law enforcement has not been able to confirm that at this point. They say that it is a line of questioning that they're asking some of the survivors, some of the eyewitnesses there to the shooting.